Hello and welcome to the first edition of my health and fitness or diet and fitness vlog.
This is a room where you will see me sitting quite often. It's our utility room and also my work from home office. Basically, I've been working from home pretty much since COVID started. With that comes its own challenges as far as a diet is concerned. It's a lot easier just to pick and nibble. That's why I've decided to do this vlog, to make myself more aware of what I'm doing and hopefully to help you in that journey too. In terms of my starting weight, I am 13.6.8 and the target we are aiming for eventually is 12 stone on the nose. I have taken some photographs of my bod, but the idea is I'm not going to show them now. I will show them hopefully at the end for a nice before and after style shot. One of my biggest weaknesses when dieting is always around bread and crisps and in general carbohydrates really, and that's why when I did keto I found that to be quite a good diet, and I did lose a lot of weight on keto. But the problem is with those kind of diets is as soon as you take something out, ultimately you then crave it even more, and that's why I think MyFitnessPal and calorie counting works so well, because essentially it's not saying there's nothing that you can't have. You can have everything, you just count the calories for it. So I can even have kebabs because I can just about work out the calories for it, and they are very high calories. But all I will do, I'll either have to do exercise that day to give me some bonus calories, or I'll just have to watch what I eat in moderation to almost save my calories for the evening. And I think that's why this diet works for me when I'm doing it properly. And in terms of things like bread and crisps, then what we will have is we'll have the smaller bread, like so nimble, because that's half the calories of normal bread. And in terms of crisps, we'll try to buy an equivalent to Walker's Light type thing, so we can have crisps but they're not as bad. Also, I am trying to do as well for lunch times during the working day, is rather than having sandwich, crisps and fillings, what I would like to do is I'll make myself a fried rice. So it's calorie wise, it's probably the same as having sandwiches and crisps and filling, but actually it's a lot more filling, it fills you up more, and I think it's a lot more healthier because I can have a lot of veg in with that, because veg is very low calories, so carrots, mushrooms, broccoli, all stuff like that. And that's quite a good way I find for doing lunches. And in time, what I'll do over these diaries is take, like I say, little videos of what I'm eating just to show you. So something I find super useful in terms of being healthy is to have certain bits of food pre-made. Now for us, that's rices. We always make sure, as you can tell, we have a good supply of rices already made up, portioned up, cooked and in the freezer. Something I find really useful in the kitchen has to be the slow cooker. I find it's great for making very large, very healthy and nutritious meals. This was a chicken stew from yesterday. And in addition to all the running I do, we have this little man, Patches. He's very useful for some daily exercises, so he'll go for at least 1 or 2 walks every day, depends if it's a running day or not. And it's a great way to burn off a few calories, get some fresh air and some sunshine, and just clear your head, especially when you're working from home. I think that's quite an important thing to make sure you get out. So, as you can probably tell, I've had a slight change of mind with the exercises I mentioned on the first video that I've never been able to maintain. So I thought, as we're going on this journey, why not start to reintroduce them again and to make them routine. So what my plan is, I'm going to do just 30 sit-ups and 10 sit-ups on the days that I run. And I run about 3 to 4 times a week. Now the idea is that's a very small amount of exercise. It'll only take me, 5 minutes to do that, if that. As I do it more and I become stronger, then I will do it for longer. So yeah, I'm adding that into this journey too, to see, can I make that part of the new routine? My plan is for next week to talk a little bit more about the MyFitnessPal diet, both in terms of how it works, how I do it, and I suppose any tips that I have about how to do it. No sooner do I tell you that I don't go to the office, I actually have a team meeting today. So because of that, my routine's going to be a little bit different, and I thought what I'll do is I'll do my crunches and my press-ups as soon as I get up, and it's 6:30, because it only takes a few minutes. It's easy to fit them in. So we had the team meeting yesterday, and I decided that because they were doing a buffet and I had to resist it, that I would make my own packed lunch. Now the calories for my packed lunch were probably a little bit higher than normal, but then I didn't have any of our bread, so I had to use the Twinsies bread, unfortunately. I had my lunch at the team meeting, everything was going well, the buffet was out, I was resisting, and then I made the fateful mistake of having one bit, and at that point the buffet floodgate opened. And unfortunately this is why I didn't want to have the buffet, because this is one thing in the world I can't resist, it's party food. So not only did I have my high calorie lunch, I then had even more food. And if that wasn't bad enough that I ate lots of pate and sausage rolls and cold meats, at the very end I then discovered on another table were all those really high calorie mini flapjacks and caramel bites and cornflake cakes, and so I just stood there while talking to my colleague and eating them all one after the other, and at that point I started to feel a little bit sick. So when I got home I went straight out for a run, and needless to say I might have learnt that maybe you shouldn't run after gorging out on a buffet, because you do get stitch. But I do think it's important for me to mention this to you within this diary, because ultimately this is a diary of me and eating, really. So there's going to be days when I'm good and there's going to be days when I'm bad. I think the thing is, when you do overeat, then what I suppose maybe mitigates that is how you then are for the rest of that day. So sometimes if you start being bad, you might just think, oh, what the hell, and just be bad for the whole day. But actually what I did yesterday to try and mitigate some of that is I came home, I didn't really have a dinner as such. In the end, by the end of the day, all I had was a bowl of soup, so a Chinese style soup, some of those Ocean Pinky style ceramic flake things in, and that was actually really nice, and that tidied me over, that and maybe a bag of crisps. I did go over calories, but not as bad as I could have done considering. What I'm quite happy with so far this week is that I've managed the exercises, so the sit-ups and the crunches every morning, and actually for me, doing it first thing in the morning seems to be working. Fridays are my official weigh day. Now what I'm not sure yet is whether or not I'm going to end these vlogs before I weigh in, or if I'll end these vlogs with the weigh-in, and then in effect the vlogs will run on a kind of a Friday to Friday basis. I think Friday to Friday, so I might end this week with tomorrow's actual weigh-in. Oh, this is our cat Thea, she just wants to pop in obviously. So that's it. that's the first week's weigh-in done. So I've been doing MyFitnessPal properly now since Monday, and after 4 days of doing it properly, yes, I have put on 0.2 of a pound. But actually, the one thing you learn when you diet is that actually this does happen. You can have weeks where you're really good and you're doing everything religiously and you're doing your exercise and you're following the diet, but you still put on weight. But that's what happens. I know this from my own experience, and I know not to be disheartened by the fact I've put on a little bit of weight this week or since Monday, because I suspect next week I will make that back and some. So that's always the key thing when you're weighing yourself, is always keep that in mind. Don't be put off by a plus, and especially when you've been being good, and actually just carry on with what you're doing.